Hola, I'm Jorge Ramos.
And I'm Paula Ramos.
And this is The Moment. Bueno, Paola, hablemos de comida. We're going to be talking about food and politics. As a matter of fact, I believe that food is politics. And someone that understands this very well is Chef José Andrés. He's not only the owner of more than 30 restaurants around the world, but he's been leading the nonprofit World Central Kitchen into feeding millions of people in zones of crisis and war. Something that amazes me, Paola, is that he can get into places where even the most experienced journalists simply cannot do.
That's right, Dad. Look, José Andrés is one of the few people that has actually been able to enter Gaza. Just last week, he announced that the World Central Kitchen is actually expanding operations in Gaza. And he also announced that they just achieved a major milestone, which is that they're now feeding 1 million people every single day in Gaza. And so one of the questions that we have today is, how does he do that? Now, how is José Andrés able to achieve such a major milestone? To help us answer that question, we're actually going to take you back to a discussion that we had with José Andrés a couple of months ago, where he really takes us through the way in which he has to navigate all of these different barriers and factors and bureaucracies and politics to achieve these missions. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take you inside of his brain. No, we're going to take you inside of the mindset of a person that doesn't take no as an answer. No, inside of the brain of someone that is able to see possibility and to see opportunities when no one else can, including in war zones.
Tienes razón, Paola. He's an incredibly positive man. So we had the privilege of going to his home in Virginia. He conducted this interview without shoes. I don't know why I would like to say that. And also he put a bottle of white wine in front of us. So our conversation with Chef José Andrés when we come back. José Andrés, gracias. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Oh, it's in English?
It's going to be
in English.
You had no idea?
What's wrong with you?
I know there's nothing
Wait,
wrong. It's just that we have to...
No, seriously. I thought it was in English.
No.
I thought it was in Spanish.
We have to communicate with the rest of America.
I apologize. Let me change.
We just have to do it.
Okay.
That is true. People don't know, but we've been talking for half an hour in Spanish. And then I think this is the first time I've done an interview. That's what you've been drinking.
No, now I need to drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bueno, salud. It's the first time that I've done an interview with 3 glasses of wine. So thank you so much. I think it's going to help. No?
And it's the first time you both speak in English in an interview.
I think so. That is true. We've talked, I don't know how many times, but it's the first time we've done it in English. No?
Yeah, but I want to make sure that you understand you are not drinking. You are supporting local economies.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So
thank you.
Supporting local economies. Thanks so much for talking to us. So you want to start, Paul?
I'm going to start by asking you if you feel fine. And let me tell you why I'm asking you this question, because so about a year ago, during the November 2024 election, when Donald Trump wins, you say, and I'm going to quote you, you said, "We've had Republican and Democrat presidents since I arrived here 32 years ago." And then you said, "We will be fine. USA will be fine." You said that. Do you feel fine? How are you feeling a year after you made that comment?
Wow, we're going directly to...
This is a lot of homework.
I've learned from this guy.
Who is she? Does she have any connection to you?
No.
It's your daughter. No way.
She's doing her homework.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah?
I think every situation in life, the good ones and the not so good ones, we all go through. Mm-hmm. And you learn from them and you adapt to them. And I think it's these moments when you start realizing what is important. Sometimes we live life without putting much thought of, but it's with the people, freedom, democracy, Lady Liberty, Ellis Island, the meaning of what America is. I think in moments like this is when maybe everyone begins asking that question. Who
the hard
are we?
questions, yeah.
And so every moment has a situation where it's an opportunity to really rethink what we think we know, to rethink who we are, and what is the role of everybody. And everybody plays a role. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I think this last year has been a fascinating year, to say the least.
Did you underestimate what Trump would do in America the second time?
Well, we need to remember that usually it's one person, but the person has a lot of people around.
Yeah.
It's always about the team. Life seems it goes through, we have a shepherd, And usually a shepherd, in the way I understand it, is a person that takes good care of the flock. But when the shepherd is not the right one, maybe complicated moments.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of people that are very happy with the leadership of the president, and it's other people that are incredibly unhappy.
Yeah.
And the thing is, leaders should be there to lead, where everybody follows the shepherd. And I hope, maybe I'm naive, but I'm still hopeful that one day, maybe, who knows, that this person that looks at times very complicated to deal with, that maybe it will come to a moment that he understands that he wants to be loved, be beloved by everybody, to win the Nobel Peace Prize. That means that you cannot only behave well sometimes and with the people you think is the right people to concentrate on. It means that you have to become the shepherd and the leader for everybody.
But it's interesting that you mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize, because Trump won the Nobel Peace Prize. Lo ganó, por supuesto, María Corina Machado. But many people think that you might be the person who really deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, look what you've done. I remember you since the earthquake in Haiti, 2010. I saw what you did. I saw what you did in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria, and then Syria, Ukraine, Gaza. So I wonder how you did that transition from being Chef José Andrés, the restaurateur, to this humanitarian work that is truly amazing.
Well, I'm still a chef. I don't use the word chef.
¿Es cocinero?
Cocinero. I'm more a cook. Chefs are the people running my restaurants, that they really know how to run the restaurants. I was not a bad chef running the day-to-day of the restaurants, but I have people around me that they are so good at it.
Pero prefieres cocinero.
I say cocinero because it's cook. And what is cooking? Is just cooking. It's just getting in front of the fire and start with whatever you have, start cooking and feeding people. This is also a very important talent. I'm good at that. Mainly, I'm good at that.
At feeding people.
You give me the ingredients or 2 ingredients and I'll come up with something.
Okay, so that's how we can go from being chef, cocinero, to the humanitarian job that you're doing right now.
Well, a cook, a cocinero, you feed the few. But if you think about it, that same talent can be put at the use of feeding the many. We all have a talent to take care of the few. But if you really are creative and you think about it, that same talent can help you take care of the many. That's what a cook is. I cook for the family and friends and a few people in my restaurants. And then I realized that the same talent can help me to put together a team to go to Ukraine and do 1.5 million meals a day, or Gaza, 500 million meals a day and growing, or anywhere there is a disaster where you have to be creative to start feeding people today.
I mean, you went into Gaza. You wanted to go into Gaza.
But
you couldn't.
They didn't let me. But somehow, as a journalist, they didn't let me get into Gaza. But you did, no?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I've been in Gaza a couple of times. I wish I had time to go more and be more. Also, I only was given the permission for the time I was able to be in. But at the end, it's not José Andrés helping feed the people in Gaza. Is the
Central Kitchen? Yeah.
Is the people of Gaza feeding the people of Gaza. Palestinians feeding Palestinians. I want to remind everybody that also first day on October 7th, we were in Israel, helping feed all the people in the kibbutz that literally were massacred.
I was there.
And we had to be there. And I had people, why are you helping? Why are you in Israel? Because the people of Israel needs our help. At the same time, the day after, we began helping feed people in Gaza. And people were asking me, why are you in Gaza? Because the people of Gaza needs our help. What many people don't tell you is the story that you will have people in Israel, even people that lost family members, that they believe, deeply care about the people of Gaza. And they will tell me over these last 2 years, I would love to be able to go and show the people of Palestine we don't hate them. And equally we'll have people, women in Gaza telling me, I wish I could go and join to help feed the people in the kibbutz in Israel. When you tell this story, they think I'm making them up. But these are real stories of one-on-one encounters I had with people in both sides. People that sometimes they live less than 10 kilometers away from each other. I believe that the basic human instinct is not one of hate, but one of love. What happens sometimes, hate spreads very quickly. And love, I feel sometimes we need to work much harder.
I mean, is it possible to carry that love after what you saw in Gaza, right? I think you're someone that has been very outspoken about seeing both sides, right? Even at times trying to be political, because that is an important strategy. Can you go into Gaza without feeling political?
Well, at the end of the day, this has been a situation that is, some people will say 60, 70 years, other people will tell you is centuries and thousands of years.
It's the oldest conflict.
At the end, what I know is that you have to go with an honest and open heart. To the people of Israel deserve to live in peace and don't feeling that they're going to be attacking them every day. I will say everybody will agree that yes. And I will ask the same question. Do I believe that the people of Gaza and Palestine deserve to live in peace and prosperity and in freedom? And not in a place like in Gaza that looks they are inside a jail, where they cannot live when they want without permission. And usually that permission is never granted. So that's the big question. I do believe that, yes, obviously, the people of Gaza deserves dignity, deserve respect, equally the people of Israel and equally every single human being. We need to do more to make sure that the people of Gaza find a way to have the freedom they deserve, to become their own state, which I think will be the best solution. Many people will agree. We've been talking about the two-state solution, but obviously that people live with integrity and dignity. And obviously what has happened in Gaza, I don't think is something anybody can be very proud at all. One thing is going against what so-called terrorists, other thing is going against civilians, women, children, humanitarians. That's something we cannot allow. In Ukraine, we have humanitarians and civilians dying under Russian bombs every single day.
You lost.
That's wrong. In Gaza, we had people also. That's wrong. In Israel too. In Lebanon too. Yeah. So many other parts of the world. I'm not pro-war. I can never be.
But can you be apolitical? Is it possible? By design, you think of yourself, I cannot take sides. I saw that you once said, I'm pro-Israel, pro-Palestina. By design, you have to be apolitical.
Yeah, but obviously, every time you open your mouth, you become political.
Right.
And then it's people agree and it's people disagree. And this, quite frankly, when I express what I think, like I think every single other human should express what they feel. I have a feeling that it's okay to have thoughts that I talk about longer tables. What can I do to bring everybody? Because mayhem, we already know it.
Para que llegue la gente.
War, we already know it. Yeah. And what this gets is children that they're going to be without fathers and mothers because they die under bombing. Children that they're going to grow up with hate. Children that they're going to grow up poor and without food. I don't think I believe in that, and I don't think anybody I know believes in that.
So what I'm trying to understand is how you do it. I mean, what's the philosophy behind it? So it is...
Longer tables, no higher walls. And it's a phrase that to me is even more important. What is good for you must be good for me. What is good for your daughter must be good for my daughter. Cannot be we versus them. The we versus them only takes you to war, to hate. What is them and us?
So are you sometimes compelled not to speak out because there's a greater aim, a greater objective?
Well, today it's been a long time. I don't do an interview. Mainly because you want to concentrate in what is important. And sometimes interviews get you, in edges you don't even want to be part of. For me, the important thing is not be talking. The important thing for me is be doing.
Yeah.
We've done more than 150 million meals in Gaza. That's what is important for me today. We've done 3 million meals in Israel. That's what is important.
And your objective is how many meals in Gaza?
Well, we need to feed everybody. And World Central Kitchen, we are a small organization. But we are a small organization that we're able to adapt better than anybody in these type of situations. But at the end, World Central Kitchen exists because it's people everywhere that wants to join our very simple mantra. Let's feed everybody with the urgency of now.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
What is the void that you're filling, right? Because I think you've been to so many war zones, you've taken care of refugees, weather disasters, hurricanes. Like, what is it about the global humanitarian system that has a tendency to collapse? Like, why is it collapsing?
Well, the need right now in the world is massive, especially after the State Department under Secretary Rubio has very much ended USAID, which I think is a very big mistake because USAID was one of the best soft power mechanisms for America to have a presence and engage with the world. And I'm also very kind of heartbroken that we ended USAID because we've seen President Trump, for whatever reasons, I will say all good, hopefully, of trying to be a man of peace in a very complicated part of the world. And I praise him for trying. Whatever reasons he wanted to do it, because he cares about the people or because the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't care. He's been trying to be a person of peace. He's trying just to be a force of good in a very complicated Middle East.
You believe that he's trying to do good?
Me, I'm always thinking that people have the best angels within their decisions, and if not them, the team around it. But precisely because it's certain showing that he wants to improve the lives of people in the Middle East, especially now Gaza, then why do you end USAID? Which, by the way, when we see now farmers in America that they're going broke because tariffs, China is not buying their soybeans, everybody forgets that also USAID was buying extra farming products from American farmers, many of them in red states, that help not only give a good life in some of the poorest farming states in America, but also through USAID and the food produced in America, we were helping people around the world. A win-win. America does well, farmers do well, poor states do well. Those farming areas sometimes forgotten, the economy does better. And in the process, you're telling me we are feeding people in faraway places where people are going hungry? That's why I have a hard time when sometimes certain situations, they don't seem to go along certain decisions. I wish that was a much more 360 approach. USAID was never supposed to be very much ended. I think, if anything, USAID was supposed to be improved, to be better, not just to end it overnight.
You might not notice, but on the camera, the sun is hitting your back. And it looks like a halo, como si fueras un santo.
No, far away from that.
No. Where do you get your energy, José Andrés? I mean, I've known you for decades now, and you're never depressed. I'm not sure if when you're...
Lately, I feel like it.
Why?
Yeah, that's so interesting because you were telling us that you feel depressed, but you have a wonderful family. I mean, I saw the series that you did with your daughters. It's amazing. Your wife is incredible. You're feeding millions of people, 40-something restaurants. It seems to me from this side that you have everything.
Well, I'm very happy we are at my house, and I'm very thankful that you decided to come my home. But you asked me...
Without shoes, by the way.
Well, because I love no shoes. But, you know, I have this year, I celebrate 30 years married to my wife, Patricia. Yeah. We've been together 33. So...
How old are you?
So 56.
Yeah.
And she's been very much... living everything, the friend, the wife, the lover, the table, the wall, the chair, and the breeze, the air behind my cells every day of my life. And this is something money cannot buy.
So
And
that's why we're thinking
lucky.
there's no reason to be depressed.
The pressure is something, I think we are all obviously these mornings that, and I think it's good to speak about it, that you wake up in the morning and you have a big weight and almost like you say, oh my God.
A big responsibility.
Or that you want to stay in your cave with no people.
I mean, do you feel like
we all go through that, and sometimes I feel like it, and I love to speak freely about it, because if this can help anybody else that may be going through the same situation, to say, don't worry, you're not the only one, and I'm not gonna tell you everything will be okay. It's okay, you're going through your sorrows or through the process, but eventually remember that after a very big dark storm where it seems the world is about to end, is always a rainbow. So you just keep going with it, because at the end, you'll see the rainbow.
Is it pressure that you feel on your shoulders because so many people rely on you?
But it happens to all of us.
No, I mean, I think
it happens to all of us. During the pandemic, I saw this mother with 6 children, unemployed, sick, not able to work. Whatever age he was getting was not enough used to take care of schooling for 6, clothing for 6, food for 6, pediatricians on it for 6. And she, to me, was like a hero. I remember going, almost every other week I was in Baltimore, and like other people, and I saw in her face the burden. And maybe the happiness was when we would show up and the children would have a moment to play with the World Central Kitchen teams, delivering the food. And so I want to see that there's so many people, not only in America, but around the world, that sometimes go through that burden.
Yeah.
And the role of everybody is to make sure if we can do something to make sure that we ease that pressure, that moment, that dark moment that we all face at one moment or another. So what I go through is nothing compared to like mothers and women like that go through.
I mean, I think you are also someone that has lost loved ones in conflicts, right? You've lost your own staff members in Gaza, in Ukraine. Like, how do you feel that grief every day?
Well, Ukraine was like the first time and where people were working with World Central Kitchen. Is this moment that drones are coming out of nowhere. And that's a matter where you are, drones are coming out of nowhere. The only way something will never happen is if you were not there. Right. When Ukraine happened, I remember almost I was like, oh, we need to pull from here. And I remember was people like Julia, who manages World Central Kitchen in Ukraine and beyond, that says, one thing, I know that person perished in a World Central Kitchen, sure. But the World Central Kitchen was not here, this person will be trying to do exactly the same. Because this person is not going to be living the little town where 100 elderly are and where those elderly cannot leave town because they're poor and they have nothing else. And they're too old to even move. Yeah. So that person with World Central Kitchen or without World Central Kitchen is going to be doing exactly the same. And that's when you began thinking, right? It is true. When Gaza happened, it was exactly the same. Actually, I feel it was one of the safest missions we could ever or anybody do.
7 people in Gaza.
Because we were in constant work with the Israeli military, and was a big surprise that something like this would happen to us in Israel. For me, losing 7, especially people like Damian, and especially Somi, who is this amazing soul that I've been with her in so many missions. And it's a moment that I was like, as I said in my eulogy, and that I feel totally 100% responsible. First, because I created the organization. Second, because I was the one pushing to be in Gaza. Like I pushed to be in Ukraine. And is a part of me that obviously cannot escape the reality that you feel that pressure and you feel 100% responsible, as I feel. But at the same time, I think it goes back to the same words I hear in Ukraine, and I think was also my daughter Inez, who told me exactly the same. Listen to me, the only way we're going to be changing the world is we are there next to the people. We can be in the comfort of our home, wishing them well, but they're going to be alone, and they're going to be suffering. So some of us, and is many amazing angels around the world that right now they are doing humanitarian work in places like Chad, Sudan, Yemen, Ukraine, Gaza, complicated places. But still is people that they're going to say, if I want to change the world and I want to be next to the people suffering, I cannot do it from the phone and I cannot do it from the comfort of my home. I'm going to put boots on the ground because it's the only way that actually you can do something. With that is risks.
And you're going to continue doing that. That's your life, right?
Nobody that works in humanitarian work, and especially in complicated places, all the people of UN, there's so many other organizations around the world that right now is somebody feeling in Haiti. In Haiti that we know is gangs and is shootings, and it's people that are going to places because it's children that are hungry. Those people are putting their lives at risk. Obviously, you don't push anybody.
Yeah.
People that do this is because they want to do this. And what we need to make sure is that no civilian, no humanitarian will ever be a target in any conflict period, because we'll always be the people that want to be next to the people in need, elderly, women, children, taking care of hospitals, taking care of schools. We need to make sure that nobody ever dares, ever again, to hit any civilian or to hit any humanitarian or to hit any reporter. This is what we need to be asking.
Do you blame anyone, ever?
Well, obviously,
other than yourself,
the conflicts are obviously conflicts that are complex.
Yeah.
We know who it is. It's a tendency to blame everybody. Usually, I blame the leaders. It's always the shepherd, as I said before.
You did say that.
The shepherd is the one that can be finding a better way to bring all of us forward, or the shepherd may want to bring all of us into the cliff. I believe in shepherds that want to bring the best of all of us. I do believe that what happened in many conflicts around the world can be always handled better. Ukraine doesn't make any sense. Why Russia decided to attack Ukraine, and why still to this day, every day more and more. Actually, when I came today, we saw that the UN convoy near Kherson was hit. 4 trucks. Not too long ago, one of our cars was hit. Not too long ago, 2 of our warehouses were hit. Why are they hitting humanitarian that have nothing to do with the war? We are only providing organizations that provide food and hope and water to people in complicated places. I think needs to be obviously a very big effort through UN and others to say civilians, humanitarians, reporters can never ever be a target.
Of course.
Therefore, with that, I answer the question.
So let me bring you to Washington, D.C., where we are right now. And then in D.C., we have National Guards. By the way, why do you live here? Why not Spain?
Well, life chooses for you.
You came here in 1991, right? Yeah.
I came a few times. I came twice.
Yeah.
It was my first time as a Navy boy in the Spanish Navy.
Sí.
And then I returned as an immigrant to open a restaurant.
1991, and then you became a citizen in 2013.
And I came with a visa, the H-1 visa.
That is $100,000 right now.
But the funny part is that the way I came, the H-1 visa was supposed to be for the investors, not for the workers, because the system, and I think up to this day, didn't have a way so the investor given an H-1 visa or H-2 couldn't bring employees by the book, so-called legally. Consulates, knowing what they were doing, they will bend the rules and give visas so those investors opening different small businesses in America could bring 1 or 2 or 3 of the employees that will help that investor putting that business up and running. In the process, creating tens, if not hundreds of jobs. With that, I'm only telling you that in the way technically I came with a visa, yes. But technically, that visa was not supposed to be to an employee.
Yeah.
I was not investor, it was supposed to be to an investor. So what I mean is that when we talk about the immigration system in America is broken, I only mean that the immigration system in America is broken. And that you will expect 33 years later after I arrived, that by now, Republicans and Democrats together will once and for all pass forward an immigration reform that is not a problem for America to solve.
so far
it
from
is
that.
an opportunity for America to seize.
We're so far from that. I mean, you remember when everybody was talking about that, and then nobody's talking about it anymore, no? So I think immigration reform sounds great, but the possibility is almost gone, I think, no?
We got amazing moments that I was very hopeful, back in time and back in history. I still remember, even I only watched it many years later, first time I saw this amazing moment between President Reagan and President Bush father.
Getting along.
Talking to each other about, they were running both for president of the Republican Party, and Ronald Reagan won, but everybody was praising immigration more than each other. You were like, oh my God, look at these two guys. Immigrants are obviously a very important part of America.
But John,
keep moving forward.
Exactly.
President Bush,
look at that.
son,
Look where we are.
he tried to pass immigration reform. He understood the value of immigrants. Obviously, with immigrants and Mexican origin family members himself. He tried, and he couldn't.
Obama sort of tried.
And he couldn't. Not only because Republicans didn't support him, also was Democrats didn't support him. Therefore, he tried, never happened. Obama, I was very hopeful.
We were very hopeful, but when he had a chance, he didn't do it. He had 8 months to do it. He didn't do it.
And for that, I'm very sad because this was one of the best legacies, putting aside Obamacare, that,
2009.
without a doubt, the biggest legacy of Obama, and it didn't happen. And here we are, where still we have dreamers, those amazing young children that came when they were very much in diapers and used, that by now is still, in any moment, they could be one day sent out of the country when it's over 1 million dreamers who are contributing to America, who are as American as anybody I know. And still these people are like, almost like a ghost in the system. In any moment, they could be sent back to where? I don't know, because they grew up here. So immigration, obviously, is one of the biggest opportunities we have to make sure that we, once and for all, give those people that they've been part of the growth of America over the last 33 years.
But it isn't happening, José Andrés. No, it isn't happening. Look at the rates. Look in your city, the National Guard supposedly being part of a system that will protect everyone.
Well, not supposedly. I mean, we're miles away from a White House that is actively deploying the National Guard in D.C. There's raids that are happening not too far away from here. How does that make you feel? And also, what does that mean for the city's restaurant industry?
Well, the other day, I was in a restaurant that usually is busy. A small Japanese restaurant. I'm not going to even mention the place.
Not yours?
No.
No, mine.
Okay.
And there was a member of Trump's cabinet, a secretary, I'm not even going to mention whom. And this is a restaurant that usually, has only a few tables and has a little bar, and the entire restaurant was empty.
Yeah.
On a Thursday night.
Wow.
And empty, I was the only table, and the other table was that secretary.
Fear? Is it fear? Miedo?
Obviously. But when you hear that Washington is booming, from the words of the president, obviously he's not going out and his people are not giving him the right information. I said I think I did a tweet even in his first 4 years. I said, maybe President Trump gives us a surprise, and as a businessman he is is the president that will pass immigration reform. He has a winery in Virginia. I'm very sure that maybe he doesn't know, but I'm sure he has people that work in his winery that may be undocumented. He has golf courses. I'm very sure that he has people working in those golf courses that may be undocumented. And it's because immigration and immigration reform and the way we handle labor is something like every single American, small business and big business, will tell you we need immigration reform so we understand what's going on. It's good Americans, small and big businessmen, that they're trying to move their business forward so they can help the economy of America. That they are totally, totally blind in the way who you hire.
Yeah.
Do they have papers? They don't have papers. You may be sending the Social Security of somebody and the papers of somebody following the rules of labor. And we know stories of 10, 20 years later that you will receive a letter from the Social Security telling you we don't recognize the Social Security number. 20 years later.
Yeah.
How is it possible? That means that immigration and the labor laws of this country are totally broken.
So restaurants are being
Will
affected.
you not say that it's not time we fix them? Because, and this is the big lie, all these 11, 12, 14 million undocumented,
14.
many of them are paying taxes. Many of them are in the payroll systems.
We're getting
many
no
of
benefits.
them,
No benefits.
but they are. And therefore, it's a huge missed opportunity for America. They are contributing today to the economy by their work, and they're contributing to the economy by the taxes they pay. And this is something like not only as they call Democrats, even Democrats, I feel at times they let the immigrants alone, almost forgotten. We seem only remember immigrants when election time comes. But obviously is something Republicans need to be doing now that they have control Congress and control Senate and control the White House. We keep having problems with immigration is because we are not doing what we have to do. And if you are in charge, you own it. And if something is going to go wrong, you are going to own when things go wrong. Right now, business cannot hire. We're going to see an economic deceleration.
Restaurants are being affected, right?
are having a hard time
closing.
Restaurants are closing. Restaurants sometimes cannot fulfill their needs, and they take less tables. At the end of the day, the only one that loses is America as a whole.
How can restaurant owners organize to help undocumented immigrants right now?
Well, I mean, the restaurant food industry is a very big industry. Between restaurants, 10%. I'm not expert on numbers, but probably the National Restaurant Association will give you farmers, people that work. Right now, we know that farming estates are having a hard issue because immigrants, undocumented, are not going to work. And those farmers have no American that wants to work on the fields. Last year, I know that here in the Chesapeake Bay, in places like St. Michael's, they didn't have enough workers to pick the crops that they sell all across America. They didn't have enough hands to pick up oysters. And this was before everything is happening right now. Therefore, all these things we're seeing now are used a way to disrupt, to send a message to the base. But this is not going to be helping to make America better.
We have a few more minutes. So let me ask you, let's put aside your humanitarian work and then concentrate on you as a businessman. You have more than 40 restaurants. So ¿cuál es la moda? What are people eating? What do they? There was a moment when people were talking about the deconstruction of food, right?
We're going from A to C. This is the Ramos way.
Exactly.
What is happening right now is a lot of things happening, all happening at once. When I came to America 33 years ago, I said, big plates are gone. We need to go for small plates. I think small plates are winning the battle. Small plates because it's more fun. Small plates because it's not like so boring and having a very big plate that you have to begin and end it with the same food. Small plates allow you to eat 3, 4, 5 different things.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Tapas, small dishes, has so many names. That's here to stay and it's never going to go
small plates
anywhere. But the small plates not only because it's more fun because you can eat more things, but also because I think the health mentality mode is kicking in.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to live longer. I think there's many people out there that if you drink less, maybe we were not supposed to be having this glass of wine.
Which
and
is
you
fantastic,
eat
by the
better
way.
and more vegetables and more grain foods and more. Chances are you're going to live not only longer, but live longer, healthier. We see a big fall on consumption of alcohol drinks. Not only, especially in the young people, newest generations.
Well,
That means that we need to bet in better quality, less quantity. But cocktails without alcohol are becoming big in America.
Okay.
Drinks that are creative and you open a bottle but they have no alcohol, that's already here to stay. So this is actually good things. The restaurant industry, we're going to have to adapt. Prices are going up, labor cost is going up. We don't have enough workers to fulfill all the needs of everybody.
That's the
The
trend.
alcohol no consumption brings the income in the restaurants used to go down. Yeah. But at the end, like everything, every moment in mayhem is an opportunity to new opportunities. We all always are going to have to adapt, and adaptation is going to win the day.
Yeah.
the DC food scene, I think, is very sceney. It can get very political, right? Have you lost clients because of being outspoken against sometimes President Trump? Like, is that a thing that you see in the
You had
restaurant?
a fight with him in 2015.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a fight. I think you had a fight.
You both had a
I think
fight.
you had a
No, I
fight.
think you had the fight.
Mine was simply business.
Mine was journalism.
He spoke against immigrants. I was supposed to be opening in his hotel a restaurant. He began using words against Mexicans and immigrants
He
in
said
a
Mexican
way.
immigrants were criminals and rapists.
So this is not about politics. This is just simply about morals. Certain vocabularies that we see grown-ups using, politicians. If any of our children will use the same vocabulary in a school, that children probably will be expelled from the school for a week. And if that children use the same vocabulary again, that children probably will be expelled forever from the school. How it is that we are going to be holding children to higher standards that our leaders, if anybody needs to be showing an example, are not our children, even very often they do, but our leaders on top. Therefore, I can disagree with you politically and let's say morally, even I think it's only one way morally, but even you could disagree and morally and both things may be good. But I think if something every American will agree with me is whatever you do that you disagree with, can we do it with dignity and respect to each other? If we lose respect to each other and we put away the dignity from every human being, is when the morals just break down. So it's not anymore about what is the right politics. I think all politics are good. It's Republican things that can make America better, and it's Democratic things that can make America better.
So, Paulo,
and the mix of both is the perfect cocktail. But what we cannot escape is that morally, we need to be conscious what is right and what is wrong. And it's certain things that I know every American will agree with me. That if you're going to church in the morning and you're praying to God for a better tomorrow, I'm a Christian boy and I don't go to church every Sunday, but do I believe that we need to feed the hungry? I do. Do I believe that I need to give water to the thirsty? I do. Those were Jesus' teachings. If you are claiming that you are more Christian than Jesus itself, that's okay, but never forget to follow the teachings of Jesus. This is one way to see it. If you are not religious, it's exactly the same. Do you believe that the hungry should be fed? And do you believe that the thirsty should be given water? I don't know anybody that disagrees with this. So follow your morals, but also don't use your morals when they are of use to you to make a point. Live your life with the same morals you're claiming to have. If not, you're not failing me. You're not failing America, and you're not failing society and the world. You're failing yourself. you're the one that is going to have to look yourself in the mirror and said, I'm a liar. Don't lie. Live with your morals in a speech, but also in actions.
So let me finish with this. I'm doing this interview with Paola. I'm so happy. And I'm seeing the pictures of your daughter. You did a wonderful series together with them. And I'm feeling the same way with Paola, that we're doing something because I don't know if we feel guilty, José Andrés. No, I mean, you and I. If we feel
Of the time you didn't spend with her.
Exactly. And then I don't know if you feel the same way with your daughters, that you didn't spend enough time with them.
Yeah, guiltiness goes, and especially if you're a Catholic boy, probably guiltiness goes
He's not
with
a Catholic
life.
boy.
Anymore.
But
He used to be.
At the end of every day, you can always do one thing.
Sí.
Whatever happened before, you can apologize, but it's not much you can do. But what you can do is what you start doing starting today,
Right now.
in this moment. So did I do the TV show because I wanted to spend more time with them? And was probably, are you doing this because you feel you were in too many places but next to her?
Yeah.
Maybe, but you see you're doing something about it.
I know. Así que, salud. Gracias.
A vosotros.
Gracias.
This wine probably was picked by an immigrant somewhere.
Most likely.
And probably
Sure.
undocumented.
Gracias. Salud.
Ay, Dios.
Gracias.
Okay, Dad, so you've known José Andrés for many years at this point.
Montón.
Sí, muchos años. Did you learn something new from this conversation that we had with him? Is there another side to him that came out?
I think so. I would say that he's in essence the same person. I still remember that he was always defending immigrants and say the things exactly as he thinks. Dice las cosas como las piensa. And I've always appreciated that. But I've noticed that, I mean, he's grown in power. He's a very powerful man. As a matter of fact, many people, I believe, that he could win the Nobel Peace Prize at some point, him and World Central Kitchen. But I also noticed that since he has to deal with politics and politicians all the time, Paola, that he's a little more careful with his words.
I noticed the same thing.
Sí, un poquito más, ¿no? A few years ago, he would say really strong things, and politically, he didn't care. But now, if he offends a politician, maybe in the future, he's going to need the help of that politician to have his workers and the volunteers go with World Central Kitchen. So I think that's one of the things that surprised me a little bit more this time. No?
Yeah, I have to say, I kind of had the same observation. Obviously, I don't know José Andrés in that way, but I think for many years, I always admired the way in which he stood up to Trump. I did notice this time around a pretty noticeable hesitation when it came to politicizing the conflict in Gaza. Now, I think there were times where I noticed him being kind of uncomfortable, but I think that brings up a point that a lot of leaders and people with power are wrestling with. No, what is the cost of a mission? No, what do you have to sacrifice in order to get things done? What is the cost of being political? And I think throughout the entire conversation, I noticed him sort of making this internal calculation in his brain, which was around, does speaking up hinder the mission? And I think that's kind of the interesting behind the scene that sometimes we don't really get to witness, but it was interesting seeing the way that I could see, that his brain was like constantly thinking about like, do I speak up or do I don't speak up?
You noticed that at some point he just wasn't saying exactly what he was thinking, but that he was making all these political calculations.
I think so. And I think, look, they just achieved a major milestone, right? Which is 1 million meals per day in Gaza. I think what we learned is that requires a lot of bureaucracy and politicking.
Negotiation, yes, you're right.
Negotiation on all ends, no? And that will require you making enemies as well as allies, no matter what.
Algo que sabías, but we just didn't say during the interview, is that after the interview, he invited both of us, ¿te acuerdas? He invited both of us to have dinner at his home. Imagínate, ir a comer a casa del chef José Andrés. So he invited a few good friends and me. So,
what did he make for dinner?
It was incredible, Paola, because there were, I would say, easily 10 different dishes.
Okay, your favorite one?
The most simple ones, ¿no? Un poquito de gazpacho, un pescado fresco, the rice, the meat. he had a little bit of everything. But something that surprised me the most is that he didn't eat at all. He was cooking. I mean, I've been to many restaurants of José Andrés, and then obviously someone else is cooking, no? Mm-hmm. But then, and once he made guacamole for me. That's it. But in this case, just imagine, he spent hours and hours preparing for this meal for his friends, and I was among them. And he didn't have a single bite at all. We were asking, hey, José Andrés, vente aquí, siéntate con nosotros. He just didn't want to do that. He said that he already had tasted the food, and he just wanted to make sure that we liked the food.
Interesting. So he was just observing, almost like observing from afar to ensure that his food was liked, which I think is kind of an artist's
not
craft.
From afar, Paola. He was right there.
He was on top of your shoulder. You had to eat absolutely every bite. Pero eso es lo que hacen los artistas, ¿no? Eso es lo que hacen los chefs, ¿no?
They want to be
like
liked.
Every
liked.
bite, exactly, has to be perfect, even if you've done the thing a million times.
Yeah, so it is, for me, I was really shocked to see that he spent so many hours just because of us, no? And that he was paying so much attention to every single bite we were taking and making sure that we actually liked. We absolutely love the food, but I'm wondering, someone so positive and someone who has done so much and so powerful, so rich, that even now, at the most basic, he's just a human being wanting to be liked by others.
All right, my last question to you, Dad, is, did you learn how to cook anything? People should know that the one thing you make really well, the one thing, son las quesadillas. So did now that you were honored with the presence of eating in the house of el Señor José Andrés,
claro.
Did you learn anything? Will I be privileged enough to benefit from that dinner some way?
No, but
okay.
but I can, let me say something. Let me say something. Remember, I told you at a restaurant in DC, once he invited me to the restaurant and he made guacamole for me. I think I can do a pretty good guacamole too.
Vale.
So I cannot compete with his, but the way my mom did it, con cilantro, limón, cebolla, a little bit of tomato, is different than the one he did. And mine, mine is pretty good. Pretty good.
I agree. I'll give you that.
Listo.
Okay.
Vamos a comer, Paola. Bye.
Hasta luego.
The Moment is a production of Radio Ambulante Studios in partnership with iHeart's My Cultura podcast network. Our staff includes Daniela Alarcón, Miguel Santiago Colón, and Lisa Cerda, with help from Paola Aleán, Diego Corso, Natalia Ramírez, and Elsa Liliana Ulloa. The CEO of Radio Ambulante Studios is Carolina Guerrero. Executive producers at iHeart are Leo Gomez and Arlene Santana. Paulo Cabrera, Dylan Unker, and Mark Canton also serve as producers. Sound design, final mix, and theme song by Elias Gonzalez. Our hosts are Jorge Ramos and Paola Ramos. Recommend The Moment to anyone who might enjoy unpacking these complicated times with us. And if you like The Moment, pero también te gustan los podcasts en español, check out Radio Ambulante Studios. Our shows, Radio Ambulante, El Hilo, and Central, are really worth listening. I'm Laura Rojas Aponte. Thanks for listening.